How's it going, guys? Welcome back. Now, it's no secret that there are a lot of RFAs out there right now that are yet to get offered a contract, yet to get offer sheet, yes, to sign with their team, whatever they gotta do, right, to get the job done. So today, we're gonna go out there and think of worst case scenario for every single team, that being your RFA going to the biggest rival of your personal teams. That meaning we're gonna do a video on what if every single team's biggest rival offer sheets their best RFA a contract, their best RFAs, quote unquote, some of the best RFAs in the league, I should say, in general. We're doing the top 12. We're not going through all like 6,003 of them if there's that many players in the league. We're going through the top 12 RFAs. We're throwing them on their team's biggest rival. It sounds very confusing saying it. I'll just go out there and get this going right away. We're starting with Boston. Look at the line change for Boston. They're going to pick up Braden Point, one of the biggest rivals for the Tampa Bay Lightning being Boston, and obviously a big rival of the Toronto Maple Leafs is Boston, being that they have struggled to get past the first round because of them numerous years now. So Mitch Marner and Braden Point are both Boston Bruins now. Both of them getting offer sheeted by Boston. Both of them going there. The funny thing is I've talked about this many times now. It's the fact that Boston has many of the few really good teams that actually have the cap space to go out there and offer sheet somebody they want to. As crazy as that might sound, because they have Bergeron, they have Pasternak, and they have Marchand on such cheap contracts right now. But I don't think they're gonna go out there and offer sheet. Man, Boston, could you? Boston, I secretly think it'd be funny to see happen is Boston offer sheet Mitch Marner, the ultimate troll move. I think they can make it happen. The Minnesota Wild, they're gonna go and scoop up Colorado's Mikko Rantanen. Big acquisition for Minnesota. The Canucks, another team making some big acquisitions here, picking up Tkachuk and picking up another goalie over there in Rittich right now, still an RFA. I believe is he the one that is currently arbitration eligible, is going in for arbitration. But technically, he's not really going to get offer sheet. But the fact that he's an RFA, we're going to throw it out there anyway. I don't know how rich that Vancouver and Calgary rivalry is to this day, because Vancouver's been struggling lately. But I can't stop thinking about the line brawl, man. The good old line brawl. But Calgary, they're going to pick up somebody as well. Good friend Brock Besser, who apparently does not actually want to play. He just wants to sit on the bench. Look at that. I got the right wing position. Perfect first try. Impressive. I was thinking Besser might have been a left wing. Could have been a center. I don't know. Vancouver will let you know, though, he's like the best player in the world, so I guess we got to put him on the first line. Big acquisition. I'm just kidding. Lindholm's going ahead of Besser. Sorry, Besser. You're going to have to play with Backlund. Still good at acquisition there for the Calgary Flames. They're losing one, picking up another, actually, there. So we'll see how that turns out for those two teams. Wait, is Besser still good in Vancouver, or is it all about Pettersson? Now, I know it usually changes. I get a little confused. All right, so the Predators, another team. Was you talking about the Predators needed some offense? I think they got it now. Duchesne, Kyle Connor, Patrick Laine. Obviously, Duchesne was a signee, but Laine and Connor both come from Winnipeg. Still yet to throw those guys out of contract. Both of them RFAs. Been waiting to see what happens with those two. I was kind of interested to see how they go down that route, especially with Patrick Laine. I'm feeling a shorter contract. We'll see what happens though with him. Travis Konechny making his way over to the Rangers. Solid second line center they're going to be picking up there. But when you gain a player, they're going to lose a player. That player they're going to be losing is going to go to quite the rival they do have over there in the New Jersey Devils, and Pavel Buchnevich. We will throw him on the second line. Much needed support over there for the Devils. Last but not least, though, we're going to stroll on over to the Montreal Canadiens, who will have one of the few defensemen in our RFAs out there right now. And no, not actually showing here. We'll have to pull him up. There we go. There's McAvoy. Charlie McAvoy of the Bruins coming on over to the Montreal Canadiens. Big acquisition there. I don't know how this rivalry is feeling now between Boston and Montreal, but I do feel like, it seems like the way it sounds, at least, you know, the bigger rivalry for Boston is Montreal, not Toronto, because, you know, most rivalries require winning back and forth, and, well, Toronto, but yeah. You know how that's been going for you guys. We already talked about it. So I'm thinking from a Boston standpoint, the biggest rival is Montreal. You guys can correct me on that. Like I said, I'm not a fan of every single team, so I can't quite go out there and say, oh, that's our biggest rival, right? Doing my best to make sure we did make it happen, though. So let's go ahead and jump into season mode and see how these teams go out there and see how they play. We decided to use the Nashville Predators because the Predators are up to a 94 overall now. One of the biggest beneficiaries of this whole give your biggest rival your RFAs thing was the Nashville Predators picking up two players. Obviously, the signing of Matt Duchesne in there as well, going to help that team out. But you talk good about them, 94 overall, and they're not even above 500. Something you don't see too often. Highest overall in the game, and they are struggling to even get to 500 right now. 10-14, 10-15. Who would have thought that one was coming? You go out there, pick up some good players. You got good defense, got good goaltending. And I made the big mistake, I just thought about it, of not taking PK Subban off the Nashville Predators. Sorry about that. Like I said, we could have got a roster update when free agency came out. That would have been fantastic. But you have to always like reset the rosters every single time you do one of these sim things to get everybody off the rosters back where they belong, stuff like that. And it ends up having to be like, oh, you have to go and change the roster back to default. So, I mean, it's not too big of a deal. It's just, you know, PK Subban, which clearly great player, but clearly it's not making a big difference here for the Predators because they're 26-21. Well, they're starting to turn it around, I guess. I mean, they was struggling there to start. So to be up above 500 again, pretty solid for the Predators. They're going to have a strong March, though, still, if they want to make playoffs by the looks of it. Pretty strong February, though, right now. Here we go, though, that ever so crucial month of March for the Predators. They're looking like they're in pretty good shape now, right around 89 or right around 90 points. Couple more wins should secure them a playoff spot, though. They're looking pretty good right here, I'd say. Right around 100 points, actually. For a team that started off that slow, was a 7-11, 9-14, 10-15-ish. To be around that range, turn it around, they're looking like they could have won the President's Trophy. What a turnaround for the Nashville Predators. You kind of expected, though, those big additions like we did say. We'll see who they have in the first round. It is the Ducks, which sounds a lot like a wild card team if I had to assume, because, like I said, good season. They got bounced, though. Bounced in the first round. It's like it didn't even matter. 100-point season. Predators gone by the Anaheim Ducks in round number 1. The Anaheim Ducks, who did not pick anybody up, if I'm not mistaken, right? They didn't gain any RFAs out of the 12 we went through here. So a little surprising there for the aging Ducks. Getting younger, but some of their stud players getting a little older as well. For the Ducks to go out there, make playoffs, and upset a team like the Predators. It's the Tampa Bay Lightning, though. No Braden Point, doesn't matter. You see Braden Point, this is why you're willing to take that pay cut, I guess. What's you have to do to take a cut down to like 3 mil, 3.8 mil or so, you know, if they want to keep him? And gets the cap space they have? Nah, they'll clean it up, though. But that is the cap space they have now until they do move some stuff around. Patrick Laine for the Nashville Predators, baby. There it is. 71 points. 71 for Forsberg. Duchesne dropping 53. Subban, like I said, Subban might be there. You see nothing. Kyle Connor, 39 points, 22 goals, 17 assists. Pretty solid season for Kyle Connor there. Montreal, who did Montreal gain? It was McAvoy. McAvoy, 9 goals, 23 assists. Only a -1. Not the greatest. You'd expect a little bit better, I think. There you go and take a look at who else did we gain here. The Devils gained a Buchnevich, 39 points. Solid season, really, for being an 82 overall, -5, 39 points. Second line minutes, though, he was getting there. The Rangers, I don't remember who they gained. It was not a huge player. It was Konechny. Okay, maybe it was the decent player. -9, 32 points out of Konechny. We go and take a look at the Penguins. The Penguins gained my boy Werenski, I think. I don't think I showed the Penguins. I just noticed that. Zach Werenski, you say it ain't so. 4 goals, 17 assists, 21 points. I don't like seeing that one bit. You can stay on the Blue Jackets. Still got +16, though. Killing it. Werenski the goat right there. Doing what Werenski does best. Toronto lost players. Vancouver gained players. It was Tkachuk who dropped 64 points. Big addition. Outpointing Pettersson this year was Tkachuk. What a season. How did the goalie do? Not that it matters. We'll see if he won any games. 7-14. Not a big deal there. And then we go and take a look at Washington, Winnipeg. It was the, I don't know, Anaheim, Arizona, Boston. Boston gained a couple players, right? They gained Marner, who dropped 71 points, 27 goals, way above his career high there, 27 goals. Bergeron with 70 points. Braden Point, again, 63 points. A very offensive team over there in Boston, of course. Buffalo, Calgary. Calgary gained Besser. So Besser dropped 71. Calgary won that trade, surprisingly. You would have thought losing Rittich and Tkachuk, maybe it would be Vancouver benefiting. Turns out Calgary got a 32-goal score, 71-point getter, and Besser, who led the Calgary Flames. How about that for Brock Besser? Did we talk bad about him earlier? He's just showing us how good he truly is. Colorado lost players. Chicago lost, I don't know if they lost any players. Edmonton, Florida, LA, Minnesota. Minnesota gained a player. Minnesota gained Rantanen, who dropped 60 points. Only 60 points with a -10. You want to see more out of Rantanen than that. Still led the team in points. I don't think Minnesota can be too upset about that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the standings here, though, real quick. Like we said, we had to have about 107 points, right? 108 points. 108. That had to be close to the Presidents, didn't it? Presidents for Nashville, it was. Slow start to the season, won the Presidents, bounced in the first round. Tampa Bay, you can relate, but they won the Stanley Cup again. They've been winning a lot of Stanley Cups in these sims lately. Boston with 104. Toronto, losing Marner doesn't matter, 101. We're noticing that here. These guys are losing big players, not stopping them at all. Tampa and Toronto. San Jose, 98. Carolina, 98. 97 out of the Kings. 97 out of the Capitals. 95 out of the Knights. The Devils, 95. Didn't even pick up PK Subban, so dropping 95 points. 92 out of Colorado. Arizona, again, they've been surprising us lately. Mikko Rantanen, a big help for the Wild, though, making playoffs. Same can be said about the Rangers. They lost Buchnevich and gained Konechny. How about that for the Rangers? 91 points. A few upsets in here. The Ducks as well. 90. Panthers 90. Who missed the playoffs? Then the Penguins missed playoffs. They gained a stud like Werenski and they missed playoffs. The Red Wings missing the Jets. Another team. Big losses though in Line A and in Kyle Connor. Montreal, even with some additions, cannot quite get it done. Calgary, you know what I joked about? I said Besser helped them out, but apparently not. Apparently not, because they had 87 points and they struggled to make playoffs. But it looks like I didn't see Vancouver yet. Did we? Columbus way down there. Nice to see. Love to see that. That's what's going to be happening. Ottawa, Vancouver. Yeah, Vancouver had 65 points. Vancouver struggled even more than they struggled normally, I guess. So not too hot out of Vancouver right there. We'll take a look at the playoff tree here real quick. See how she's all looking. Who was in the finals? San Jose was in the finals. Colorado, even without Rantanen, was killing it in playoffs. Lost in Game 7 of the conference finals. The Devils lost in 5 to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Like I said, maybe that PK turned out better. But Toronto finally getting over the hump with Boston right there. We called them out and it was like, we'll take care of it. Not a big deal. New Jersey and Carolina, though, what a series right there for the second round. Looking at the San Jose Sharks in LA also advancing to the second round. But not too much going after that. We'll see what the awards look like. See if any of these guys that left their previous team ended up picking up any hardware. Looks like the Alex Ovechkin show so far. James Norris going to Doughty. Patrick Kane getting a Bing. Pedersen getting a Memorial. Conn Smythe going to Vasilevsky. Freddie getting to Vezina. Petko with the Jennings. 3 goalies getting hardware this year. How about that? Char with the Masterton. Selke going to Bergeron. Obi with the Lindsay. And Richard, of course. Had to expect that, right? He picked up the Art Ross. Of course, he probably scored like 60 goals. Otherwise, though, guys, if you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up would be appreciated. If you like to subscribe, I'd appreciate that as well. Please and thank you. If you don't want to, that's never a big deal. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.